Welcome to the weekly roundup of Division 6 stars.
TJ, how are you?
Good, mate. Where are we starting?
We are heading to Fitzroy, where they took on Bramah Lodge. A big win there at Bramah Lodge, but a very high-scoring game it was.
Yeah, 14 goals in the first quarter, Das. That's crazy.
Massive. So it was 22-14, 146, defeated Fitzroy 15-10, 100. So a fairly big score there on
46 points the difference.
Yes.
And look, there's 2 losses in a row to Fitzroy, just after they'd gained some momentum after a slow season start. They've gone plummeting down, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So they're definitely out of the 5 now. So they're 7th
I think they
now.
were third a couple of weeks ago.
2 games out of the 5, which is a bit tough now.
It is the tightest division, though, Div 6. Between sort of positions 2 and 7, any one of 6 teams could be looking up to make those final spots. So Pulteney, of course, will finish top.
Definitely.
For Bramah Lodge, it was the return of Daryl McIntyre with 5. Steele kicked 4, as did Cousiner and the other Steele. There's 2 Steeles, both named Dean, both spelled differently.
I get out this
Yeah. And one of the D Steeles was best on ground. For Fitzroy, mate?
We've got Burke with 7, so nice little 7 goals there, with Beattie with 2 and Sikaluna with 2. Then individuals to quite a few other players there, with Burke with his 7 goals, obviously getting the best players, with Smart and McKinnon amongst the best.
Yeah, good win there to Bramah Lodge, and sort of solidifies their spot. Where are they on the ladder now? Just looking quickly, they're in 3rd. Of course, hanging on narrowly with the pack hunting them, but they're in 3rd spot, so yeah. If they keep winning, they're going to be getting a double chance, but still a long way to go.
Got 4, so I'll go by that. I reckon it's probably more
I
up to
reckon,
date. So
yeah, it would be. It would be. Right, moving on to Houghton District. I said that they would win by a minimum of 100 points, Pulteney, and they've won by 175. Wow, 30 goals 15, 195 to 3 goals 2 Houghton. Houghton scored 1 point in the second half. Yeah, not a good day. For Pulteney, it was Dan Nicholson with 12 in a best on ground display. A whole host of others kicked goals. Rowland's also on the best players.
Yep.
For Houghton, mate, you might as well give us the goal kickers.
Yeah, we've got Hall, Simpkins and Solero with the best players. Well, it's Schultz, good on him. He tried hard all day.
He's in rucky, tireless, big gangly fella.
Exactly.
And Burden probably had his best game of the year. So, look,
up against the might.
There's a fair chance, unless they can pull something out of the fire here, they could. They've got 6 games to avoid a donut season, as we call it. So, Mawson Lakes and West Croydon. I thought this might be a little bit closer than what some people might have thought. And, gee, they got a scare as well, West Croydon. There was West Croydon 10-8-68, Mawson Lakes 7-13-55. Mawson Lakes actually had the more scoring shots. They had their chances, but it wasn't to be.
No, absolutely. Now, West Croydon just holding that finals hope alive. There's still 1 game out of the 5, so they're just holding into that. So, but we're looking out to West Croydon, where Kate's, is that all individuals, is it? So all individual goal scorers.
For Mawson, that is.
Mawson Lakes, sorry. Yep. I'll go Mawson Lakes first. All individual goal scorers there, so there must be 7 of them, with best players King and Hayden and Lee Hammett. Sorry, Lee Hammett.
Hammer.
Yes.
For West Croydon, it was Lukey Francis kicking 3, and his mate Luke Woodcock kicking 2. Lasher had his best game. I think he's only played 3 or 4 for him. He's going to win an award this week, just quietly. He played his 4th game, but clearly his best game for the Hawks, as they, they're just going to keep winning, and anything can happen.
Absolutely. So, especially keep their, I said, 1 game out, so must. Yeah, they're just behind Trinity there, so all good.
Yes. Now, Trinity and Ingle Farm. Trinity have been a bogey team for the boys from Roe Park, and so it proved to be again. A big second quarter where they kicked 6 goals to 1, got the job done for Trinity. In the end, it was Trinity 11-13, Ingle Farm 11-10, a 3-point margin there for the boys from Trinity College.
For Trinity.
Now, bit of mail on this one.
Oh, yes.
I understand the coaches of Trinity and Ingle Farm won't be exchanging Christmas cards.
Big news there. We don't know what the exchange was, but
wasn't pleasant. Yeah, it's a bit of mail around on that one, and
I wasn't. Just shake hands after the game.
Yeah,
game's all over, but
apparently they didn't.
No, they said they should shake hands after the game. Yeah. But I said the game's over. It's football. Let's have a beer after the game. But
there's still. I don't want to get into it too much because I wasn't there, but there's still certain lines you don't cross about attacking people.
Exactly.
So sometimes you say some things that are almost unforgivable. Like, yes, there's certain things you don't say. But anyway, I wasn't there, but there might be more to follow on this one, who knows?
That's it. But Trinity, they were 4 goals up at half time. Ingle Farm came back in the last half, but just fell short of 3 points. But we head to Trinity with Perry with 5, Clark with 2, individuals to a number of players there, and Stimson and Clark and Perry in amongst the best.
For Ingle Farm, Sanderson and Lynch both kicked 3, as did McCormick Smith. Best player, second week in a row, is that man Gray Grant. the big ginge Stevie Gunnell and Peter Fingerbone making up the best players. Sammy Naylor squeezed in 5th. Now, I read that Sammy Naylor was injured. If that is, I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to him myself. So if he is indeed injured, as I read he was, we wish you all the best in a speedy recovery, Sammy.
Absolutely.
Talented young footballer. Last game of the round, Das, and
I'm not sure
your
what happened
screen
here.
has just died, so I'll help you out. It was Elizabeth, 11 goals, 18-84. Salisbury West, 5-4-34. Elizabeth led at every exchange, increased their lead at every change, and had a good 50-point win. For Elizabeth, it was Cotter was the leading destroyer with 3. Stevenson was their best with Macris and Hall. For Salisbury West, Das.
Yes, we got Medhurst with 3, with say Bow and Davies are the individual goal scorers there, with Davies, Pudney and Bow in amongst the best there.
Yes, the ladder again, it is tight. Pulteney clearly on top. Elizabeth and Brahma Lodge 2nd and 3rd, 8 and 4. Ingle Farm and Trinity 4th and 5th on 7 and 5, with the pack chasing led by West Croydon and Fitzroy. Goal kicking, the return of Darryl McIntyre's 5, which I've already mentioned, takes him to 51. 10 goals clear. If he continues to play and kick a few, he will win that award. This week's games, please, Das. Elizabeth take on Houghton Districts at Elizabeth. How much will Elizabeth win by?
Well, you've gone, hang on. Elizabeth, where are we? Down. Sorry, Elizabeth. Oh, down again now. Oh, Elizabeth will win by, I reckon, 10 plus. Unfortunately, no good for Houghton to get their first one on the board this week. Won't be against Elizabeth, so Elizabeth by 10, I reckon.
2nd versus 10th. I'll take Elizabeth by 92 points.
92?
Look, I wish Houghton. I hope they win a game, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
The Battle of the Tigers, mates.
It is Brahma Lodge take on Salisbury West at Brahma Lodge, so I'm going to go, head out to Brahma Lodge by not very much.
Tigers are on a bit of a roll. They'd won 2 games in a row. They're outside. They won't get relegated now unless something ridiculous happens. Ludicrous, I'm talking.
Yeah.
But they're not mathematically outside of a finals chance, but this week will probably put them away for the year. I'll take Brahma Lodge by about 6 goals.
Indeed. And the next one, going back out to Morgan Oval, Pulteney take on Mawson Lakes.
This could be close if Pulteney got there at quarter time.
Yeah. Cut too early.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also even half time.
Pulteney by as much as they want to.
Much as last week, perhaps. 100 points. Say 100
I'd say 60 points. It's never easy, and we don't mean to. We're not trying to be rude about it, but they're a class above Division 6 this year, and Mawson Lakes will get relegated to Division 7 next year. That's the difference between the 2 teams.
Pulteney, they've done well over the Christmas holidays. They must have done something because they had a poor season last year, but now they come back with a vengeance, and they're actually smashing this year. Scholarship. Can
I say that? No, I'm being facetious, of course, but they've done well when they're recruiting.
We head out there to Gall at Trinity College. They're taking on Fitzroy, so this will be gee whiz.
You can argue this is game of the round. Because it's going to have final ramifications. Trinity are 5th, Fitzroy are 7th. They separated by 1 game. Fitzroy, if they beat Trinity, will move into the 5. Do you think they can beat them, Das?
No, I don't think so. Trinity out there are very hard to beat. Long way to travel. I reckon Trinity by just a couple of goals.
This is a very tough game to pick. I want to pick Fitzroy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, my heart wants to pick Fitzroy. There's some mates out at Fitzroy. But yeah, Trinity at home, Das, I think you're right. They're going to find a way to stop some of their guns, and they've recruited well from what they had at the start of the season. They've added to their list and it's complemented just nicely. I'll take Trinity by a kick.
And last game is at Fork Reserve, so we've got West Croydon taking on Ingle Farm, which will be a crack of a game, I think. I reckon soft spot for West Croydon by not much at all.
Another game where, again, if Trinity do lose, they would fall below West Croydon. If West Croydon won, it's 4th versus 6th.
Yeah.
Oh, Ingle Farm just for me. Who did you go?
I went for West Croydon.
I'll go Ingle Farm just to be a little bit different. I still think they're stars. They've got more stars on their list. If they fire, they win.
If West Croydon are a final contender, they must win. They have to. This is the 1 game out of the 5. This is going to show them, okay, boys, if we're serious, if they lose this one, they won't make the 5.
It's almost like an audition type elimination final, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We'll see who fires up. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.
See you later.